Hello guys, welcome back to the Brutal Investor channel. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day today. In this episode, I'm going to talk about a very interesting project that I felt that I need to cover in this video, and it's also a Polkadot project. And this project is called DeFi CLIQ, which is basically CLIQ or CLIQ. That's a native tokens, their native tokens ticker symbol. And this project is something that I feel like has a lot of potential, provided they do what they actually claim to do. And that's something that we're going to cover today. Again, as always guys, if you guys want to do your own research, I highly suggest you to go to their website deficliq.com, which is DEFICLIQ.com, in order to access documents that can help you do your own research before you invest your money on this project, right? So what is DeFi CLIQ? DeFi CLIQ is basically a platform that aims to unify all the DeFi features, right? So if you take the current DeFi scenario, there is a lot of projects that aim to do, let's say for example, collateralized lending, right, and borrowing, right? They also probably will do staking. They have a governance component to it, and that's it. There is another project which will do uncollateralized lending or under collateralized lending, but it won't do both collateralized and uncollateralized lending, right? Whereas there may be another project that will optimize yield, but it won't necessarily perform collateralized or under collateralized lending, right? So you have these silos of functionality, which kind of makes you want to take your capital, put it in one project. If you want to do a particular activity, but if you want to do another activity, you have to go to another project and park your capital there. And then if you want to optimize yield, you have to take your capital and put it in another project. So you're kind of like not optimizing the time, and also your capital efficiency is going to be low, right? But DeFi CLIQ aims to make this all possible through one platform. So they basically just want to be the one-stop shop for all DeFi features. So they have features such as under collateral, staking, interoperability, off-chain DAO, yield, and burn on Polkadot, right? They have a multitude of features which they plan to bring to the DeFi ecosystem with just one platform, and that is DeFi CLIQ, right? Again, I highly recommend you guys to kind of like access their staking 1.0 and staking 2.0 platforms. It's pretty interesting. I don't want to cover that in this video, but you guys can definitely access that from their website, right? And please use it as a part of your own research. So what is DeFi CLIQ? DeFi CLIQ is the first company to provide both collateralized and uncollateralized loans in both peer-to-peer and traditional ways, with more features like DAO, which is basically off-chain governance, staking, interoperability at one place on Polkadot, right? So they basically aim to be this company that or platform that provides both collateralized and uncollateralized loans, which is provided in both peer-to-peer formats, which is without a middleman, or in traditional ways. You can basically choose, and that's something that I feel like is the most powerful thing that this project is bringing us: the option to have a choice. You have a choice on whether you want to take out uncollateralized or collateralized loans, or even if, let's say for example, you choose to do uncollateralized loans, right? You probably have the option as well to choose whether you want to do it peer-to-peer or using traditional methods, right? I don't know why people would continue to use traditional methods if they have peer-to-peer methods, but again, there's a lot of newcomers who won't really feel comfortable with peer-to-peer decentralized lending or borrowing, right? And therefore, it kind of in a way serves as an on-ramp for newcomers to participate in the DeFi ecosystem by trying out the traditional ways on DeFi CLIQ's platform, and then slowly upgrade themselves to the peer-to-peer lending, which will kind of like be the future of finance, right? And this is made possible in one platform thanks to DeFi CLIQ, right? With more features like DAO or off-chain governance, staking, and interoperability at one place on Polkadot. So you have obviously a governance component to this, and they're obviously planning to be this decentralized autonomous organization which is an organization that's fully decentralized and controlled by the people or the public, right? And they aim to do that as well as have staking mechanisms that we just saw on the top, which is basically staking 1.0 and 2.0. They also plan to make it interoperable with other substrate-based Polkadot projects, and this is all done in the Polkadot blockchain, right? So again, I highly recommend you guys to read through their white paper. It's a very interesting document, and roadmap is also something that you guys should look into, because if you're investing in a project for the short term or the long term, you might as well understand what plans do they have on the pipeline. Most people don't really look at roadmaps that much, but I suggest you guys to include that actively as a part of your research, because roadmaps give a big picture on whether they are actually an active project that aim to solve problems and stay relevant for the long term, or if it's going to go into obscurity, right? So again, I suggest you to go to the roadmap as well. So let's look at their key features in a little bit more detail, right? So under collateralized, so get rid of over collateral for lending and borrowing crypto assets. So again, when it comes to collateralization, there is over collateralization and under collateralization, right? Most of the DeFi projects are over collateralization, which means if you put in 10 ETH, which is worth in total $10,000 or something like that, you are only able to borrow $5,000 worth of stable coins such as USDC or DAI or whatever, right? And that kind of is the common scenario, commonplace for the current DeFi ecosystem, and many projects do that. But it kind of causes some form of an inconvenience for users, because when they try to get a quick loan and the price of Ethereum kind of fluctuates rapidly, they end up losing their collateral, or losing a portion of their collateral, or in the worst case scenario they end up getting fully liquidated, which is going to make them either freak out and leave the crypto space if it's a newbie, or if it's an experienced investor, they kind of get a bad taste in their mouth, which may probably cost them some kind of a PTSD, where they may not even participate in DeFi platform in the first place, right? As you guys know, I'm a vehement believer of DeFi ecosystem, and I want it to grow, and I want to be a part of the long-term future for DeFi, and I want to support projects that provide under collateralized lending, because by supporting more projects that provide under collateralized or uncollateralized lending, you are basically making the system evolve, and getting rid of this high collateralization ratio that you need to constantly monitor and match, and it's going to be a headache, right? So I'm happy that this project is not only giving people the option to provide a collateralized or under collateralized option, they're basically also helping newcomers slowly on board using their traditional way by which they can provide these services, right? Which is very interesting. So collateralized lending, basically lend and borrow crypto assets after putting collateral offered by the lender and borrower. Again, this I personally consider that it's a old school method. As more and more projects start becoming under collateralized or uncollateralized, we will see collateralized lending kind of fading away, but it's still good to have this option, especially for people who don't really feel comfortable investing in crypto or in the DeFi space in the first place, right? Full anonymity. We believe in the real power of decentralization and independence from traditional societal mechanisms, i.e. democratizing finance. So the project is fully anonymous, and again, it's something that some people may freak out, that you have this anonymity not only from the project, but also you can also kind of sense some form of anonymity being a problem with the regulators, right? But in reality, they actually support anonymity, which they believe is a important right of everyone, and they want to kind of step away from the traditional means of where you pretty much have all of your information recorded in a bank, and that kind of risks a hack. And if a hacker hacks a bank, which it's been possible and it's been done multiple times, your personal information gets leaked and gets sold on the dark web, right? But if you have full anonymity, you are basically preventing all of this from happening and basically having full control of your funds, right? Which is very important. Decentralized, no central authority to control the rules in the protocol. So again, as we saw before, they want to become this decentralized autonomous organization or DAO, and obviously to become a DAO you have to be fully decentralized, and their project is obviously decentralized, so that's pretty good. Why us? So why choose a DeFi CLIQ? So if you want to choose DeFi CLIQ, what are the main reasons you choose it for, right? Interoperability. DeFi CLIQ will provide cross-chain communication, which will help the user to interact with other DeFi protocols on other networks. So again, as you guys know, since it's built on Polkadot is highly interoperable because of its parachains, as well as the relay chain parachain mechanism, and it's completely interoperable within the Polkadot ecosystem based projects as well. But again, as you guys know, there are lots of projects that are bridging with Polkadot, or bridging between Ethereum and Binance Smart Chain, and so on and so forth, and several other blockchains. And therefore this project is going to be interoperable not only within the Polkadot ecosystem but also outside of the Polkadot ecosystem, right? Staking. Token staking gives currency holders an incentive to be part of the network. It gives them the ability to earn more tokens for their holdings. So again, when you stake, obviously you are going to be participating in the network functionality and also helping the network flourish, and in return you're basically rewarded with new tokens, and that's a common theme for many proof of stake blockchains, including this project. Governance. The DeFi CLIQ governance will be ensured directly using a distributed autonomous organization model. So again, the governance aspect of this is going to be ensured directly using a distributed autonomous organization model, which is going to help distribute the power to the people in a very democratized way, right? Yield farming. DeFi CLIQ will reward yield farmers CLIQ tokens for providing liquidity to AMMs or automated market makers, as well as for providing liquidity to our lending platforms, right? So if you want to actively participate in this ecosystem, and you have a couple of pairs of two different tokens that you can provide liquidity to on their project, you can obviously provide liquidity and earn their native token called CLIQ, and this token is going to be the native token, which you can either like stake it, or you can use it for other purposes as well. But the best thing about this one is that you can also lend your tokens and receive CLIQ tokens as rewards as well, right? So that's one of the other means by which you can earn CLIQ. So let's see the tokenomics. Again, the total supply is 990 million tokens. Again, I usually have a rule of thumb where I personally, before when I choose a project, I kind of look at the tokenomics of the project as well as the other aspects, obviously. But when I look at the tokenomics, I mainly focus on how much the token is when it comes to total supply or maximum supply. And I don't really choose tokens that are over than 100 million tokens, and that's kind of like something that I personally have chosen based on my risk tolerance / my personal understanding of crypto and scarcity. That 100 million is kind of the threshold for a project to kind of make or break its own success, right? Why is that the case? Because if a project is way more than 100 million tokens as max supply, there is a chance of short-term price inflation, which is going to definitely either stagnate the price or make the price of the token go down, right? Again, I want to choose tokens that perform well in the short term as well as the long term, and therefore I try to avoid projects that have way more than 100 million tokens, right? That's just my threshold. But when it comes to this project, again, if you see, this project is obviously trying to gain traction, and they are obviously trying to do multiple different projects in one single platform, like collateralized lending, uncollateralized lending, staking, yield aggregation, interoperability. It has multiple features in it. It's like a jam-packed ecosystem, and if nobody uses this project, then there's no reason for this project to survive. There's no way this project can survive if nobody uses it, right? So I believe that the total supply for this token is kind of in a way justified to provide inflationary rewards to people who participate in the ecosystem and help contribute to the growth and development of this ecosystem, right? So from that perspective, I can understand that the total supply of this token being 990 million makes sense, right? But at the same time, compared to projects that have a billion tokens or even 10 billion tokens, this project is way better, right? And the initial supply is going to be 7.24 million, which is going to be 0.73% of the total supply. I know that this is going to be extremely low, and there's going to be significant inflation in the short term, but I kid you not that this project is definitely in the verge of succeeding, also because of the fact that Polkadot ecosystems itself will succeed in the long run. Even after Ethereum 2.0 comes into place, Polkadot is going to succeed, and Polkadot's parachains will also succeed. And again, this project is aiming to be one of the parachains of Polkadot, and if this does become a parachain of Polkadot, it will continue to succeed as Polkadot ecosystem grows and develops, right? So when it comes to that perspective, I don't really worry about the initial supply being very low, but again, you are free to come to your own conclusion. The token listing price was 6 cents, 6.5 cents per token. Initial market cap is going to be 471,000. Again, that's literally like one of the smallest market caps I have ever seen in this channel. I do believe that I have seen other projects outside of making this video that have very low market cap, but this is like a extremely, it's not even a micro cap, it's less than even a micro cap, it's kind of like a nano cap kind of market cap, right? So its initial market cap was 471,000 tokens, $471,000 approximately, and let's see what the current market cap is going to be from CoinGecko. Use of proceeds. So what did they do with the proceeds that they listed, right? That they got from the initial token listing. So exchange listing, again, to list on exchanges, they used 20% of the proceeds. For marketing, 15%, product and technology, 40%, operation 20%, as well as reserve is going to be 5%, right? So you can also see that the token distribution is also presented well for private and seed sale. So the private and pre-sale was basically 2.31% of the token was allocated. Staking 45%. If you see that team and advisor, it's 14.1%, and this percent is actually vested for 2 years. So again, you don't have to worry about the team and advisors dumping this token on you, at least for the first 2 years. But after that, I'm pretty sure that as the project grows and develops, the project team members won't really have an incentive to dump on you, because they have a lot of stake in this project as well. So there would be a small set of advisors and team members dumping, but I do believe that this project has a high potential, and therefore, if they continue to dump, then nobody's going to use the project and they risk losing everything. So it's on their best interest to continue to keep a huge chunk of their tokens, right? But if you see, reserve was 5.81%. Business development and marketing, again, this is also vested for 6 months, so you don't suffer a risk of short-term inflation, and this is going to be 9.77%. Employee and operations is going to be 15%, 5% released each month after the 30th day of TGE. Again, they do have a proper vesting and releasing schedule, which is definitely good. Referral for staking, you can also refer people for staking their CLIQ tokens, and you're going to get rewarded with a certain amount of CLIQ if you do that, and they've allocated 8% of the tokens to that, right? So that's a pretty strong tokenomics in my opinion, and very good allocation and vesting schedules. So this is their team members. You can also access their LinkedIn account. You can see that there are some really interesting people who, again, when you do your own research, and you can also look at their LinkedIn profile and see what kind of project that they have were involved in and what they are continuously getting involved in. You can also see some of their advisors and their LinkedIn profiles. This is also something that you'd obviously want to look into. And they have a bunch of partners. So if you see, they are basically stating that they have a pleasure to work with all of these partners. Not a lot of big names. Again, Vendetta Capital is good. Kylie Network is another huge project on Polkadot. Untitled Roadmap is something that I have heard of, but I don't know if majority of the people have heard of. It's very interesting to see that they have good partnerships with other Polkadot based projects, but I'm not really sure why their images are very stretched out. It is a little bit unprofessional, but I think it was it's something that shouldn't really make you judge the company as a scam or anything like that. But again, if you come to that conclusion after your research, then again you are free to not invest in this project, right? So if you see some of their roadmaps, which I highly suggest you guys to see, in Q1 of 2021, they want to migrate to Polkadot. They want to initiate their peer-to-peer lending and borrowing platform, and also off-chain governance is planned to be launched in Q1. If you see Q2, beta and release of uncollateralized lending and borrowing platform, more assets added to the platform, so that you can basically find a whole bunch of assets in Q2 of 2021. Q3, they're basically having collateral auto lending and borrowing platform borrowing platform launch and token burn. So they're introducing token burn as well, so which is going to definitely decrease the token supply, thereby causing for a price positive approach for this token, right? Q1 of 2022, they are planning to update it, and it's not available as of yet. It makes sense, but yeah, at least till Q3, they have this very strong plan, which will kind of like entice people to look into this project and probably even invest in this project, right? So if you see, there are FAQs. They kind of basically answer questions. They also answer whether it's a ERC20 token, and initially, yes, it is an ERC20 token, but they will launch, once Polkadot goes up and running, they'll kind of migrate to Polkadot, right? You can also access their blogs to see other information that is relevant about this project, which can help you guys understand the ecosystem better, and that's pretty much it, right? You also, if you go to the top right corner, you can also see other information in detail if you want to, and obviously see try to feel this project before you invest in this, right? So let's go to the CoinGecko page for CLIQ token, and if you see, it's currently ranked 1398th based on market cap on CoinGecko, and it's currently trading at 9 cents per token. So if you see, the initial sale price was basically I think it was 6 cents. So if you see 6.5 cents, and now the current price is basically 9 cents. So it has been up a bit, not very significantly, but it's quite a decent increase compared to the traditional stocks or whatever. And it recently had a 4.9% increase in the past 24 hours, right? If you see the market cap, initially the market cap when the project was being sold had 400 and like 400 something $471,000 in market cap, which is like a nano cap it was at the time. But now it's currently a micro cap project which has less than $5 million in market cap. So again, this is what I would call as a DeFi low cap gem, because if you see, $3 million in market cap is a project that that you can't really find anywhere. It's not really spoken about. Probably people are slowly starting to realize that this project has high potential, and that's one of the reasons why there's a 4.9% increase in the past 24 hours. But yeah, if you guys want to invest in a project that has very low market cap, again, this project may potentially be one of the projects that's going to explode in the future. And if you get in right now, you'll probably be thanking yourself in the future, right? But again, not investment advice or not financial advice. Please do your own research before you put any of your money on this token, right? If you see the max supply, again, 990 million tokens, but they do have token burns, so that's really good, and it's going to be introduced in Q3 of 2021. The circulating supply is 32.5 million tokens. Again, a relatively low circulating supply, which is going to slump the price of the token due to temporary short-term inflation. But if they continue to keep performing well and adding more features, and they aim to achieve the status of DeFi hub, the go-to DeFi hub for all projects. So if they manage to achieve that, then the short-term price slumping will not matter, and the price will literally skyrocket, right? So if you look at the charts, you can clearly see that this token has been oscillating up and down. Again, if you see the initial information for price that's available from CoinGecko since November 28, 2020, you can see that the price has fallen down from 14 cents per token all the way till reaching 5 cents per token, and then it immediately had a huge spike and reached about 11 cents and then tumbling back down, and it reached kind of like the all-time lows of 3 cents per token, 3.5 cents per token before going up, and then reaching 3.4 cents per token, which is kind of the all-time lows, sorry, and then reaching an all-time highs immediately after that, and reach 20 cents per token. So if you buy this token at this price point, you're basically buying it at a 50% discount, right? And if you see, the token kind of goes up and down because of its high volatility, because of its infancy stage, and it has been in the 7-cent range. So I do expect the price of this token to kind of like even off at around 7 or 8 cents range, but due to its volatile nature, it can definitely go up rapidly and come down rapidly as well, right? And that's with regards to the dollar comparative. But if you look at the Bitcoin comparative, you can clearly see that a similar price pattern kind of like is existing for Bitcoin comparative as well. The token price immediately after it was launched was 790 satoshis, and if you see, it went back down and reached about 619 satoshis, and then went and touched an all-time lows of about 138, 135 satoshis, and then immediately spiked back up and reached 630 satoshis, and then now it's kind of like in the even range of 160 satoshis. So it's a really good buy opportunity at this price point. Again, it can go maybe 1 or 2 cents lower, but again, that's pretty much the case. But once people start realizing that this token has a high potential, it is going to explode, right? Especially with such a low market cap this project is. If you look at the exchanges where it's available, you can pretty much get it from Uniswap, Bithumb Global, as well as Who, as well as Bilaxy. Although I wouldn't really recommend Uniswap because of the high fees. If you feel like you have some form of success using Bithumb as well as Who.com and Bilaxy, then I would suggest you to go get it from those exchanges. But please bear in mind that some of the exchanges may not have high liquidity, and their trust score on CoinGecko is not really high. So I'll probably stick to Who.com and buy USD, CLIQ using USD Tether instead of Ethereum, and maybe even Bithumb Global using USDT, right? So it's a highly micro cap gem that has an incredible potential to grow. So what's my final verdict on this? My final verdict on this is that, again, I haven't really bought this token yet, but I'm going to definitely purchase it. As I said yesterday in one of my in my other videos, I'm waiting for some capital, and once I get some enough capital, I'm going to buy this token and the token that I mentioned yesterday. And this token is definitely going to be performing well as long as the DeFi ecosystem performs well, which I'm pretty sure that DeFi is going to be extremely valuable in the future, and it's going to be the predominant way by which people do financial transactions. And by having multiple different functionalities in one platform is a big advantage, and it's something that you can't really see from multiple platforms. And this project is probably going to be in the forefront of that innovation, right? And if you see, the market cap is extremely low, so it has extremely high potential. Even if it reaches like $100 million in market cap, that's going to be an incredible price point for people who get in at this time to make some really good short-term gains, right? And as they bring in the token burning feature, the maximum token supply is going to reduce, thereby making the token even more valuable at a fundamental level, right? And I believe that this project is definitely poised to perform well, because even if this project were to slump, the Polkadot ecosystem, which is going to pump for a very long time, is going to drive the price of this token high as well, right? So that's something that you guys may want to look into. And since it's a Polkadot based project with a high max supply, maybe it may even have a Binance launch pool listing. We don't know. or even a launchpad listing, right? Because Binance has supported a lot of Polkadot based projects because they have invested in multiple Polkadot based projects, and that's definitely going to be a highly speculative but still a highly possible Binance listing as well, right? Again, remember guys, you guys are not regular investors, you guys are brutal investors, so stay brutal. Thank you very much for watching my video guys. If you like my video, please click the like button and subscribe for more videos. See you in my next video. Bye.